All right, it's 3 o'clock. We've got cornerbacks coach Robert R.B. Green with us today. Go ahead, Wags. You got it.
Well, let's talk about the gentleman we just spoke with, Andrew Duhart, who's one of your returning starters. Has he taken a leadership role? I think he said he was named. Well, he did say he was named the captain of your position group. Talk about Andrew Duhart and the leadership role he's assumed.
Yep. So very impressed with him and how he's attacking spring ball. After having been the little brother to a group of really good football players for a number of years, being thrust into the position as a leader. He's done an awesome job with the young guys and leading our group. So very impressed with him so far.
What have you charged Andrew with improving? I mean, when you went through his season and looked at all of the cut ups, and what did you say that tell Andrew he needed to get better at doing as he goes into his senior year?
I think let's talk about his strengths first. I think he is a very analytical football player, which means he studies his craft. He makes his money, or he's best at when he has studied his opponent well. He knows his own strengths and weaknesses, and he plays to his own strengths, which is done. He's been awesome. So on that front, I think he's right where he needs to be as far as his skill set goes. Now, what he is doing is leveraging his confidence in his own abilities, his own strengths, and then playing off of that. I thought in years past, because he was, he's kind of like the little brother to Rayon and to Deshaun Peel and to MBD and all those guys, and he didn't have to, he didn't have to be the guy. And so now it's really just confidence and playing on a level in which he understands what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, not just playing with a level of confidence and leadership back there. And far as defensive backs, leadership means communicating, which means communicating loudly so that we're all on the same page on the back end.
Andrew mentioned specifically that he wanted to improve his coverage skills. What did you feel anything there was lacking, or is that more just a general, um, you know, uh, a charge to all of the cornerbacks?
Well, it's always a charge to the cornerbacks. I mean, the cornerbacks, we live on an island out there. Sometimes help, sometimes not, no help. And so the biggest deal is that, like I said, having the level of confidence for a cornerback is everything. You can't approach that position without it, because we can work all the skills and drills in practice if we want to, but if you're not willing to go, 1v1 on their best guy, you'll always be a step behind. And so I challenged him this year to just go out and play freely. In the spring, he has shown that. And what I mean by the example of that is, in years past, we play a technique where we're bailing to a deep zone, right? In years past, he would just take off, and he'll be 5 yards on top of a receiver. Well, in that position, you can't be 5 yards away from anybody. So he'll be on top. He'll be doing his job, but he can't make any plays. You have to be close to wide receiver to make a play. And so now, same skill set, same drill, same responsibilities, and now he's a yard away from the receiver because he understands, or he has confidence in his abilities now to make a play. So we got to kind of live on the edge of just barely getting beat over top, but playing tight enough that you can stop underneath routes, a 12-yard route or a 15-yard route. If that makes any sense.
Yes. So obviously you must replace Deshaun Peel, who was a very productive player. Who's battling over there? We talked to Andrew and he mentioned Ira we know about, who has playing experience, Justin Ross, Philip Hamilton. But I mean, right as of now, who's running with the ones at the other cornerback spot?
So Ira and Justin Ross are basically splitting practice reps at the ones. So first half of practice, Ira will run, with the ones. Second half of practice, Justin Ross, or vice versa, will run with the ones. And those two are kind of right now, bowing out. But we really have either you're a guy who can play for us or a guy who can't right now. And so those guys can both play. Really excited about both of their progress. Super excited about Justin Ross and what he's done this far this spring, probably most improved. So that's over to the boundary. And then Bryce Allen, who is coming along, played a lot of snaps for us last year as well. We were very blessed to be able to play a number of young cornerbacks last year in a lot of games. So those guys are all coming into this spring with actual game reps. So those four are at the top of the list there. Philip Hamilton, who was really making a charge for a starting spot. Unfortunately, he got injured his elbow, so that limited his progress for the spring. But certainly he will be the fifth name that I would mention as guys who are coming along right now who got time last year. And then I'm very pleasantly surprised with a freshman rising sophomore, Xavier Lejeune, which you didn't know about at all because he didn't have any time on the varsity field last year. But he has changed his body, put on about 15 pounds in the offseason. He is looking really good. So looking very strong about those guys. And there are a couple other surprises there. Kenny Hall, who's a senior, who hadn't had much playing time at all, is really having a great spring. So I'm excited about our group. I think overall, if I look at it top to bottom, maybe the best, as far as top to bottom, as far as athletes go, that we've had in a very long time.
Can you talk about Ira's strengths and what you wanted him to work on? I mean, he only played in half the games last year, but he was productive when he played. And as we know, and we talked about this going into last season, he's somewhat of a ball hawk. He has a nose for the ball. He had a big pass breakup last year on the goal line, if I recall correctly. And he had that pick against South Florida that he brought back to midfield to set up a touchdown. Can you talk about Ira a little bit?
Yes, so he is a very instinctual player. His mind his mind is playing at a speed much greater than a lot of players. He is a ball hawk. For whatever reason, he has a knack for getting the ball out and causing turnovers. We just need to keep him healthy this year so he can do that. For more time for us. But very instinctual. If you look at games like East Carolina game, which he got in and he was hurt made another goal line play against ECU on a pass breakup that would have been a touchdown and put us in a field goal situation. So we kept him out of the end zone. He is very instinctual and he can play football at a faster speed. And he has the speed to run with some of the best receivers in the country. Got in against Oklahoma and shut down 2 post routes against their very, all world receiver that Oklahoma had out there. One of the fastest kids come out of Georgia in a long time. So Ira is a very instinctual player. As long as he remains healthy, he'll be a superstar here. And I got no doubts about that at all. He's quick, fast, and he's strong. He's the prototype of what cornerbacks look like coming through here, I think.
Can you talk
one note
about
I want to throw in about Ira? He's also the second of quadruplets.
Yes. So yeah, it's three other very smart, highly, they're off the charts as far as quadruplets go. All high performers at all levels, academic folk, and they hold him to a high standard. So you can't really talk about Ira without talking about his siblings. They hold him to a very high standard. So they help me coach him as well.
Can you talk about Justin Ross and what he brings to the table?
Justin Ross is a 6'3", 40-inch vertical, superior athlete. He will have a chance at continuing his career if he continues his progress he's on track for right now. He is smart. He has a chance to be one of the best defensive backs we've ever had here. It's rare that you find that level of quickness and speed at a man with his height and length. Again, has the highest vert on the team and the tallest DB of everyone on the field, safety or corner. And so there's nothing he can't do. He just needs the game experience to get better. But we run him with the ones right now, and he is playing at a different speed than everyone else.
And so maybe some of the other guys you mentioned, they were kind of in the top four. Like who's backing up Duhart over on the other side?
So Bryce Allen and Kenny Hall are backing him up. We got a couple of freshmen, Nick Bell, who's a sub 11-second 100-meter guy, state champion in Arkansas. He'll be coming out and competing. He got his pulled his hamstring a little bit, but he'll be playing as well. So we got three guys over there that I feel really good about. Again, Bryce Allen, who played some last year, got some snaps. Kenny Hall's a senior who's coming along, and Nick Bell, who is a rising sophomore who is really good, again, state champion 100-meter guy in Arkansas that we really like.
So I believe I saw Greg Johnson post to social media that he enters in the portal. Is he gone?
He is gone, unfortunately. He jumped in the transfer portal and he's no longer with us. And I was really excited about him, but things happen, life happens, and he's moving on to another spot. So we wish him well, but we wish he was here too.
Another guy that you hadn't mentioned yet, Arnell Heathington, is he still in the fold?
He's in the fold. He's up behind Justin Ross, competing for to get in that spot there. He's another 6'1" plus guy, lengthy guy. We will see how he pans out. But he's had a decent spring so far. But he's behind Justin Ross and Ira a little bit. He's basically competing for that third spot over there. And he and Xavier Lejeune are really trying to battle it out for that third spot over there on the backside.
You think Lejeune's related to the person who's the hall is named after?
I think so. I think so. I've only met one Lejeune, and the other one that I know of is a famous Marine. So maybe the same bloodline somewhere. We'll have to do some digging.
Well, he's destined to be a Marine Corps officer, isn't he?
Or they all destined to be Marine Corps officers if I have anything to do with it. So, so yeah.
So, Duhart mentioned that he spent some time at safety. Can you kind of talk about the thinking between you and Coach Lewis as to why you're doing that?
Yeah, sort of like Mbidi a year ago. Duhart is a great coverage guy as a corner. If you bring that skill set over to the safety spot, then you get a very a safety that can cover well. And as you know, in our conference, you have to be able to cover at that position. And when you lose Mbidi and Rayon Lane, who were really good safeties for us last year, you want a good coverage guy back there. And so he brings he would be the only defensive back. Not the only. I guess Giuseppe Sessi has played some. But he will be the only, defensive back with some real experience back there. So it helps to have a leader of his caliber back there leading the defensive backfield. So our idea is that we needed someone with experience because he would be the one making all the calls and adjustments. And so we need a guy back there who's had some real game experience. Otherwise, you would be putting back, some really talented young guys in that group. But it helps to have some veteran experience back there from a guy like Duhart.
So what about yourself? I mean, this is how many seasons now you've been coaching the corners?
Shucks, I think this would be in a row, fifth, maybe something like that.
I've got that answer here.
Yeah, it's I got broken time, so I had him. I went back, help out Coach Newberry when he got here, and then I came back. I think
it's your 13th year at Navy and your 10th on the field.
10th on the field.
Yeah.
And then I've had the corner, some of that was broken time. So I had the corners when Pearson was here, and then Newberry came in. I was helping out the safeties.
Right.
And then I came back to corners when Norwood left. So yeah, I think it's 5 years in a row, but I had some broken time in it.
Well, the reason I ask is, I mean, you're always trying to improve as a coach. I mean, do you ever do some self, critique and maybe even talk to Coach Volker or Coach Newberry and say, what can I do better? Where do you see Coach RB needs to improve?
Oh, that is constant. I hope I never, stop seeking improvement, and so that is a constant feedback for him. Now, formally, we do this. We sit down. Coach Volk and I sit down, at the end of each season. Each season being the formal season, i.e., the fall. At the end of spring, we do this again, have an evaluation, a formal evaluation process where we sit down and put some stuff on paper. But the feedback as far as that is constant. And not only that, we all seek professional development outside of Navy, and we visit with other, professional and college teams to gain, knowledge, because this game is forever evolving, and I need to evolve with it. And hopefully, I never reached the point where I think I made it, and I continue to get better. So that's constant, but again, two formal processes along the way.
So Strauss was talking about how, you were the one that made Bryce Andrews get all those interceptions because nobody wanted to throw the
Sean
ball.
Andrews. Sean
Hey,
Sean
Andrews.
Andrews.
I,
But
Strauss is
still
my,
remind him of that.
that absolutely. So Strauss has known me since I was a kid. I got gray hair on my face. We both look the same age now, but he's known me since couldn't grow hair on my face. And so back in those days, Sean Andrews, which is a heck of an athlete, could do it all, was a really good corner on the opposite side of me. Absolutely. But I like to say, that my defense was so locked down that they could not throw to my side because if they wanted to, and they had to throw to Sean Andrews because, they could. So we'll keep that story going for as long as I can until somebody actually pulls up the tape, which is probably long gone at VHS.
Beta.
Beta, yeah. So yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, I occasionally I will pull up old film, and show the guys, and they laugh at me with my big shoulder pads on and my high top cleats. But yeah, we have a little fun with that.
I mentioned it to Andrew Duhart. He knew all about Sean Andrews, so I knew you have
Yeah,
talked about that before.
yeah. I mean, what do you have? 8,
Seven, I
9,
think.
7 in a season,
Yep.
which is incredible.
Brian Norwood coach you?
Absolutely, yeah. Brian Norwood, he's back here last week. He coached me, um, and yeah, so forever grateful for his mentorship, and we got a chance to work together when he came back to coach corners, and then once he left, I had a chance to take
So
myself.
he's been an influence on your coaching?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I talk to him all the time. I've gone out when he was not here. I've gone out to visit him at other places to get the latest. When you talk about defensive back world, Brian Norwood is a made man, and he's one of the old guard as far as defensive backs coaching goes, and so everyone goes to him when we need some info about what's going on in the world of DB play. So yeah, we have a fraternity. He's certainly one of the board members as far as defensive back coaches go.
So I was out there the other day for the pro day, and do you think Deshaun Peel has a chance? I mean, I think he's a guy that's a lot better than a lot of people might think. He's got the speed that you look for, the physicality, and the ball skills.
Yeah, I think if a team takes a chance on him and brings him to camp, I think it'd be pleasantly surprised with his skill set. He has great hands, as you can see by his number of interceptions over the last couple of years. He's a ball hawk. He is solid at 200 pounds. Is 5'10", 5'11", can run. Unfortunately, we would love to be in a little bit better climate so that he could showcase his running skills. A little windy, a little cold out there. So I don't know if we got the full spectrum of his running abilities. That weather was not conducive to running as fast as 40 times. But certainly, if a team brings him to camp, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised with what he can do, what he can bring to the table.
All right, RB, that's about it for me, brother.
Awesome.
One note on Justin Ross and speed. His uncle, Dwayne Ross, was a 7-time All-American at Clemson, was an NCAA champion and Olympian in the 110-meter hurdles, and is now the head track coach at Tennessee. So, little note on Justin and the bloodlines, and he's got all kinds of sprinters in in his family, according to his bio.
Yeah. Yeah. I say my prayers for him every day that if he continues in his track, we'll be talking about him for a very long time around here.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Wyatt.
Thanks for the
Thanks,
history
RP.
lesson, Strauss. I didn't know those things.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.